Hey up lads and lasses, Damphyre here, back again with some more Infinite Lagrange. Now, I've been sat on this one for a while, and that's due to the fact that I haven't been able to get into a data node recovery server for a bit. We have finally got into one. I have finally got into a position where I can talk about it because I know how the mechanics now work. So, without further ado, let's jump into a data node recovery video. So first up, how do you score in the data recovery? It's quite simple. If you come over here, come over to rating, and you can click on the question marks up here. We can see that it says the union's rating points is more or less than 800 and ranks first across the star system. I think union's rate is greater or equal to 800 and ranks first across the star system. Union's rating points, the rewards, units, prestige, and all that lot. You get the union, same as the other ones basically. That's all the prestige points that you get to spend on those chests that are pretty much guaranteed ships at the end of the server, which are really nice. That's for the reverberation chaser. For data protector, you need to be ranking second and have greater or equal to 800 points. And the data rescuer is unlock all zones in the base, and you get the 50 reward. It's interesting. I was kind of expecting this one to have the single player sort of one that they put in that gave you everything, but it's not here for some reason. So we now know that it's basically first or second in this server to basically earn points. There is no third place, I believe. So yeah. Kind of interesting on that one. How do you score points? Well, it's quite simple. Cities that are broken, such as these ones, have a chance of dropping data. There's 100% remaining collectibles here. This one's got metal, crystal, deuterium, a bunch of ships. So apparently this one doesn't have data. I actually didn't realize that some of these don't spawn with data at all, but there you go. Is that just saying that for all of them? Maybe it does have data and it's just not saying. Either way, there are safer versions though. You have these research stations. They are dotted about. You can find them quite easily because they are marked with icons like this one down here. We've got New Larissa Scientific Research Station. The one that's in the zone I'm in at the moment is the Aram Research Center. If we click here, we can see it's got data. There's 99% remaining here. There's a lot, by the way. Like, I believe over 1 billion has been collected at some point, because one of these required like 1 billion, 2.5 billion storage of runes resources system-wide have been like mined out of these places. So if this is still at 99%, and I don't believe I've seen one of these actually empty yet, including any of the even smaller level 2 broken cities that you have dotted around, like for example Cruise, they seem to have quite a lot of stuff in them. So this could take a while. Now, my initial report is basically wait till zone 8 to do this and do the data recovery, and it's due to the fact that they give you this new utility ship. So if you go into your large, you'll see that you have the data utility ship, and we can see here it's got 200,000 storage and 100,000 mining speed. If you compare that to your large miner, it's considerably lower. Even upgraded, these large miners don't actually keep up with the research type data utility ship. These do cost 30 of the resource CP, whereas you got 40 for the large miners. So you got to be wary of that you are going to be, basically replacing some of your large utility ships for that. Now at max, at rank 9, that's 500 resource CP, I believe you're up to, which means you either have a choice of going for 7 large miners, I believe it is, and is that 4? Yeah, I think that's 4 research ships, or you can go 6 large miners and 5 resource ships, and I think 1 medium miner as well. So you can mix and match there. They're probably going to be your most optimal to be able to keep up with the ability to construct, build, keep your base up to date, you know, keep the building going, keep your ship output going, especially if you're in the middle of a war. You're going to need the resources from the large miners. So that's probably your balance there when you're at max. Currently, I'm running 2. So yeah, I can show you quickly actually, because I am going to start collecting here. So if you click on here, you'll have this nice big collection button. We go to rapid formation. You can see I got 2 of the data recovery. Literally quite simple. I recommend trying to grab a recon fleet near it so it can jump in. It can warp straight over into this circle and start mining. It's a little bit quicker because these things are slow. They are as slow as large miners, so bear that in mind. Once you've collected data, you need to look for icons on cities such as this. And this little light blue plus icon, it's similar to the liaise, but it is light blue. And this will let you transport. You need 700 to be able to transport. Now, those data recovery ships can hold 40 each, and that's with 200,000 capacity. So, yeah, it's potential that you may want to think about running AC-721s in here, because they, you know, you can build a lot of them. So we go to destroyers and we have a look at the AC-721 here. My generic is upgraded. So we can see here that it's got 13,200 storage. So it's possibly worth trying to run these. You can build 15 in total. So if you build 10 of these, it's another 130,000 storage. So that's another 20 odd that you can put into the fleet with those data recovery miners. So that brings you, in my case, from 20 to 100 points each mining trip. Mining trips depend. The reason I say wait, by the way, for the data recovery miners is because I tried this with a basic miner, the X8. I've tried it with a medium miner, and I did try it with a large miner. It's slow, and they really don't bring much in the way of resources back at all. So definitely try and look to use those data recovery miners, potentially just flat out ignoring these starting up in the game. Now, as I was talking about the collection, if you deliver this to a city, this city basically owns that collection, right? So, if you're in control of this city, perfectly fine. If you get into a war and you lose control of that city, you will lose all of the collection and all the resources, all the data that you've taken to that collection point. Your enemy will now control it. So you've got to bear that in mind. If you're not a particularly strong union, maybe you're, you know, smaller, or maybe you've come from phase 1 and you're jumping into data, and now you're against phase 4, 5 unions, because that's how servers currently work. I should bring out a video telling phase 1 guys to not jump into anything other than node recovery, to be honest, but, you know, I'll get round to it. So, yes, they will take all the data from that city. So do be wary of that. If you're a smaller union, like I mentioned, that may not be able to control your cities because you've got a big neighbor next door and he's going, I kind of want that. Yeah, do watch out for that. Or maybe make sure you're in a position where you can easily defend it and they can't really get hold of it. Your other option is to go over to the Lagrange gate. Now, the Lagrange gate is unobtainable. You can't control it as far as I'm aware. But it has got these collection points. You will need a bit more to transport here. You need 1,000 as opposed to 700. So you do need a bit more. However, if you deliver to the Lagrange gate, no one can control that. That collection is now done. There you go. That is your union's collection and no one can take it off you. So, smaller unions, highly recommend trying to work your way around the bigger unions if you want to try and put up a bit of a fight for the data recovery. Try and jump onto the Lagrange gate, maybe get a scout sent over here sort of a bit quicker and try and get your deliveries done over here as opposed to controlling cities. Occupancy is not needed in this at all. There is literally nothing within the rating criteria about having occupancy at all. So do bear that in mind as well, which is really, really cool. So that's kind of a bit of fun mechanic, because every other server so far, occupancy's been pretty much the focal point of how you win. Now, the last thing to talk about is how the map works. This works completely differently to everything else we've seen within the game up until this point. So, there are 3 phases. You have the rising stage, the peak stage. To get to this screen, by the way, there's a little exclamation mark up here and a triangle. If you click on here, it will tell you all about this, which is really, really nice. So if you do want to go and you don't want to watch this video again, you can just jump into here, watch this, and it will tell you everything you need to know. So there's 3 phases. At the moment, we are on, well, pretty much like the end or middle phase, as it were. There should be 4 phases, really, because this sticks around for quite a while, as you can see. So first off, the sun has radiation around it. In the first phase, that radiation will expand outwards. Originally on our server, I believe it's around the first circle, this first ring here, or maybe a little bit past that, is where the radiation normally sits. As you can see though, that's expanded right the way out, covering over half the map. And this radiation acts as radiation within pretty much everywhere else. Anything smaller than a cruiser will take damage. So if we go back up here, we can even see they've got a nice little graph here. Radiation belt, medium radiation, no effects on cities, no effects on buildings, but destroyers, frigates, small and medium utility ships receive structure damage. It's quite a lot of damage. We've had a couple of players within my union flying through it and noticeably going, wow, yeah, that hurt. So be wary of that. Phase 2 are now these red plumes. These are pretty nasty. They will, like, flat out destroy cities within them. So we can see there's a city here at the moment. That's at 100% for some reason. There might be some bugs. But they will destroy cities that are within them. They will destroy your outposts. They will destroy your bases. They will destroy cruisers, battle cruisers, carriers. They don't care. So be wary of these. These expand outwards after the radiation has expanded. They will cover right the way to the edge of the map, and they will hurt anything within their path. So once this phase is completed, everything sort of retracts back down, and then you've got a bit of time for you to sort of meander between the safe points. Now the safe points are behind these planets. As you can see, you have these light blue cones coming out, or teal, is that teal? Might be teal. These teal cones coming out. Within these are safe zones. You won't get hit by radiation with these, even if the radiation's far out. Again, you also won't get hit by the declining stage and the jet zones coming out. So as we have a look here, you can see here, safe zones, no effects, no effects, no effects on anything. Jet zones, cities decrease in max HP. Once the max HP falls to 0, they fall to ruins. This allows you to still gather data from them, so bear that in mind. You got buildings here, will have HP loss. That includes your base, outposts, and mining platforms. I have heard of some bugs where people's outposts and stuff haven't been killed by these jet zones, so be aware of that. I have notified the devs that there is some bugs with the jet zones at the current moment. And fleets, all ship types receive damage. So there you go. That is pretty much it for data recovery. As other servers, there are plenty of spots you can jump around and find outposts to stick stuff on, same as before. Defense hangar there. I've seen the Noma support. All the ships are in here on those as well. In the data recovery, collect data from the cities, deliver it to collection points. If it's a city collection point, it can be taken if you lose that city. If it's the Lagrange network, you keep those points forever. Cities can also drop, they don't drop blueprints, they can give ships. Those ships are upgraded to a degree. So If you're a little bit lightweight on TP on certain types of ships, you could try your hand at trying to grab solar whales and stuff. There are solar whales in some of these cities. They are surrounded by pirates. I can't unfortunately show you one of those at the current moment. If you start mining, one enemy pirate fleet will start trying to attack that miner, so use an escort for that and try and block the miner off with an actual combat fleet. But yeah, interesting. It's been a bit of fun so far. We've had some nice battles on my one, which have been quite a bit of fun. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you found it informative and you know what you're doing now within the data recovery node. I got asked a few of these times when I'm going to do this video, and I finally got around to doing it. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'll catch you next time.